Monday, and it's time to talk technology with our tech expert, Luis Alvarez of the Alvarez Technology Group. Good morning, Luis.
Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Doing pretty good. We've got a story here from eWeek about Microsoft's cloud email breach. I noted that Hotmail and Outlook, along with MSN Mail, were all potentially compromised here. But what happened exactly?
Last week, Microsoft announced that at some point early this year, one of their employees' credentials was compromised. So somebody who works for Microsoft's credentials were compromised, and that allowed folks to log into and get access to some people's email on those platforms, either, Outlook.com or Hotmail.com. So for those of us that use Microsoft's Office 365, for example, there's some concern that that platform was also compromised. And they're not being super informative, so some of this is still up in the air. But according to Microsoft, when they announced the breach, they said that whoever had access couldn't read emails, but they could see like subject lines and see the information about the user themselves, but not have direct access to the emails. And they say that if your email account was one of those that was compromised, that they have reached out to you and informed you about it and asked you to change your password. So if you use one of these services and you didn't get that email, then chances are that you weren't compromised. But still, Microsoft is being very circumspect about this, and a lot of people want more answers and are demanding that Microsoft kind of come up with more of an explanation of how this happened.
We have email, our corporate iHeartMedia, we use Outlook. Would it be safe to, basically assume that our corporate IT people have already been on top of this and have some sort of firewall for our emails?
Yeah, so those of us that depend on Outlook.com to host our emails would have been notified, would have had some sort of communications with Microsoft. But even having said that, there's still some concern that not everybody whose email was accessed has been informed of the breach to this point. So I would say that over the next week or so, we'll probably learn more. But this is a reason that a lot of people are recommending that you use two-factor authentication, which is, not only a user ID and password, but also something like a text that sends you a code that you have to input after you've entered your user ID and password.
Right.
So having more than one form of authentication makes it harder for this to happen. Having said that, though, this kind of speaks to the fact that it's super important not just to make sure that you're secure. If you own a business and you're doing everything you can to keep your environment safe and secure, you also have to make sure that your vendors, the people that you're trusting to have access to your data and your information, are doing the exact same thing. And don't just leave it to them. You need to ask those hard questions and say, hey, what are you guys doing to protect your environment? We've gone through a process called MSP Verify to make sure that our internal processes are safe and secure and our clients don't have anything to worry about. It's annual audit that we go through to just kind of confirm that we're doing everything we can to keep ourselves from being victimized by the bad guys. And I recommend that every business out there who's using third-party vendors take a moment to ask them, hey, what are you guys doing to protect yourselves?
Great idea. Luis Alvarez, CEO of the Alvarez Technology Group, joining us today online. It's alvareztg.com. @AlvarezTG is the Twitter handle. And Luis, the toll-free number for the I-Team.
Give us a call at 866-78-I-Team. That's 866-784-8326.